that email, and it's good to be here. Thank you for joining us this morning. So I was looking last night doing some show prep here. I want to start this morning by talking about something I saw from, well, it was an article on Vox. Nope, I'm wrong. It was Huffington Post. HuffPost.com. No relation, by the way. No relation to yours truly, HuffPost.com. This was trending last night on Twitter. And I find this interesting. I find it interesting because this is, I think, a regular tactic that happens in the media and from the radical left. Headline here: GOP lawmaker's tweet suggests he's mad that U.S. intercepted fentanyl at the border. So it's Representative Andy Biggs. He's a congressman in the state of Arizona. And he tweeted this out yesterday. Let me roll down here. Here's the tweet. It says this: under Joe Biden, enough fentanyl to kill 238 million Americans was seized at the southern border last month. Where's the outrage in the media? So people on Twitter, the left and other, the left was retweeting or responding to this tweet. Things like this: apparently we should be outraged that, quote, enough fentanyl to kill 238 Americans was stopped from getting into the country. Now, obviously, this headline here, again, the headline says the tweet suggests he's mad that U.S. intercepted fentanyl at the border. I've had Andy Biggs. He's been on this program before a while ago. He's a conservative. He's a limited government guy. He clearly wasn't rooting for the fentanyl to reach the streets of the United States of America. What he's pointing out here, what he's trying to point out here, and they know this, and I'm not saying it was the best tweet. I'm not saying that, but this is a tactic that's often used by the media and the left. In fact, I'm going to use a term that Rush often had. Rush used a term that my wife thought was fantastic: the Wizards of Smart. The Wizards of Smart, that's what the left basically sets themselves up to be. They're so smart, the rest of us are idiots. You're dumb, we're smart, and you're actually rooting for, they say. I have no idea why that decides to go off there. But you're smart, they're smart, we're idiots, and, you're just going to have to, I guess, stop being idiots. But clearly what he's saying here, and this is, I guess, the point, the reason there's been so much fentanyl stopped at the border is because there are a lot of people coming across the border. And the reason there are a lot of people coming across the border is because we have an administration that has encouraged people to come across the border with policies. I mean, this is not deniable, right? I mean, the southern border is a sieve. It's not even a sieve. It's more like it's closer to open than it is simply to a sieve. And so people are bringing drugs. Of course, we have people on the border still, not nearly enough. We stopped, actually, the administration started quietly resuming some of the removal of some of the border wall. At least there was talk about that. You never know what's actually happening on the border because the media refuses to actually tell us the truth. But the point here is that we've stopped fentanyl at the border in quantities high enough to kill 238 million. I understand that this tweet sounds, it's not necessarily the best way to say this, but his point is, if there's that much fentanyl that's trying to get across the border, unless we have a 100% success rate in preventing it, then what does it mean is actually getting through the border? And that's the larger point here, and they know this. It just fits their narrative to say conservatives stupid, we're the wizards of smart. Who wants to let 238 enough fentanyl to kill 238 million Americans across the southern border? Representative Andy Biggs, they would say. Conservative voters. These people are so stupid, they're rooting for fentanyl to come in and kill Americans, which is not the point. The point is that the border is such a chaotic mess right now, again, that we've been able to stop that much fentanyl. How much more has gotten by? What are we doing to create a scenario where that much fentanyl is attempting to cross our border, and how much is actually getting in? Are we stopping half? Are we stopping 2/3? Are we stopping 1/3? Are we stopping 90%? I mean, even if you stop 90% of this, are we to cheer that enough fentanyl to kill 23 million Americans is passing through the southern border? I think that's the question here. But this is often, to the radical left, this is one of the things that in the media, this is one of the positions, one of the techniques, one of the strategies they often take, which is they're the smart ones. Conservatives are the idiots. Conservatives, as they would say here, are rooting for fentanyl to come across the border. Of course, Andy Biggs is trying to make a different point here, and I will admit, not necessarily the best way possible. But the point remains the same. We have a situation on the southern border that is largely created by policies of the federal government, by action or lack of action, by promoting. I mean, you saw yesterday we talked about DACA, that the positions that this administration, that the Democrat Party has taken with DACA, how they passed DACA, which was through an executive order by Obama, which was supposed to be temporary. Congress was supposed to address this. Congress has been consistent on this. They've never implemented such a policy, but yet this is now considered the only thing to do, the right path to take. And so it's just a compilation. And now I'm not saying, don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying that DACA has anything directly to do with fentanyl. That's not the point. The point is the border policies and the way that it is being enforced, the way that the Democrat Party, the media, attacked Trump's attempt to secure the southern border as racist and all this sort of nonsense. That now that party's in control, now that the most liberal senator in the U.S. Senate, Kamala Harris, is the vice president, now that Biden and some of the things he said, some of the accusations he's made against Trump, some of the things that people are saying when they cross the southern border now, saying that Biden's president and it's a good time to come, catch and release is back in full effect. These things all have direct consequences, and that's what we're dealing with. And it is terrifying to think that there's enough fentanyl that's been seized at the border. And I said last month, let that sink in. Enough fentanyl has been seized at the southern border that would have killed roughly 2/3 of the country if it was allowed to, have entered in and would have been distributed equally. It would have killed 2/3 of this great nation. It's a lot of drugs, and that's a dangerous, very dangerous drug. But this is I'm reading some of these responses. This is one of the techniques. Do you get outraged when crimes are prevented? Someone writes. So Not the best tweet, but I understand what he's getting at. We have a real problem there. The left would rather mock his tweet than actually acknowledge that there is a problem and that these problems need real solutions. So Andy Biggs is just the latest who has had to bear the brunt of the criticism. And again, to a certain degree, I guess at least some comment is desirable here, or I guess expected from the left here. So anyway, there you go. Wanted to share that. I saw this last night, but the headline here really caught me. The headline here, he appears mad that the U.S. Intercepted fentanyl at the border. Of course, that's not exactly what he's saying, but then again, when has truth ever been what the left really and truly cares about? It's about positioning. It's about advancing the cause. It's about making your opponents look as idiotic and moronic as you possibly can, setting yourselves up as the Wizards of Smart. Of course, you have to be the Wizards of Smart because you hold all answers to all of our country's problems. Everything would be a utopian masterpiece on this in this great planet, on this great nation, in this land, if they simply we would allow more liberals to run the show, make decisions for us instead of idiots here. This is the narrative anyway, like this particular representative. So, quick timeout is in order. So condescending, by the way. Condescension is kind of a hallmark of what it means to be a radical leftist. It's also kind of found in the way that they talk about the vaccines for people that don't want to take the vaccine. They're actually cheering for people. It's a sick thing, man. It is a sick thing whenever you see cheering from the radical left when someone who doesn't have the vaccine gets COVID-19 and they're not doing well. I mean, there's literally groups of people that are cheering as though that is deserved, and they, of course, wouldn't have gotten COVID-19, or it wouldn't have been as extreme. They wouldn't be in the hospital if they had gotten the vaccine and so forth. But it's just the condescension, the arrogance. Heck, we had someone say something similar to us. But anyway, timeout's in order. Plenty more to get to. Sit tight. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back here in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy heating, air conditioning, and plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com. Flooded basement? Failed sump pump? Water damage happens fast this time of year. For 38 years now, Hayes & Sons has been restoring water damage in Indiana homes and businesses. They'll help you navigate your insurance claim and get your life back on track. So when a water disaster strikes, tell your insurance agent you want Hayes & Sons for your restoration work. Visit hayesandsons.com/Todd for more information.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
the compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals.
Let's face it, moving is stressful. That's why Jones Movers, a family-owned business for over 40 years, is here to help. Our team is ready to help and respond quickly to your questions. We can handle local and out-of-state moves, which means we can move your items to wherever your pin drops on the map. We also offer self-storage units for furniture and items you need a place for. Go to jonesmovers.com to get things moving today. Or visit our Facebook page, Jones Movers.
How would you like to get a $1,000 bonus after just 3 months on the job? Sound good? If so, Wallace Construction is ready to hire you today. They're a family-owned business with 45 years experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. Call 317-422-5356 to find out more about this $1,000 bonus opportunity. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356. Be sure to tell them Todd sent you. Welcome back, my friends. You probably have seen by now that there are, I think I just saw this morning that there are now 6 Texas Democrats who have tested positive for COVID. Remember this story? These are Democrats from Texas. They wanted to make a big political scene, and this is why I call the radical leftists in Congress the Dramacrats. They first and foremost are kind of like political pawns and actors. They want to create this scenario. They want to create this scene. It's like Act 2, Scene 3. Democrats get on plane, leave Austin, fly to Washington, D.C., to escape having to be, this scenario that's been set up by the state there, the special session of Congress called by the governor. They fled to protect the rights of the voters. They're heroes, absolute heroes. Of course, the problem is, there's lots of problems. First and foremost, these jokers are officially fugitives. In fact, you could say that Democrat fugitive legislators, I should say, not leaders. This should not be leader. I would not define these folks as being leaders, but they are fugitive leaders from the state of Texas that have created a super spreader event out of an attempt to engage in political theater. Political theater that is always, coincidentally or incidentally, bad political theater. And it just brings up some other thoughts I have about maybe some steps that the liberal mayor of the city of D.C. might want to consider doing. Has she considered forcing these Democrats who have attempted to bring COVID-19 to her city? Has she considered quarantining them? Remember, for a while, this was a thing, and it may become a thing again, where if you were coming from a certain part of the country, you were put into a quarantine. You couldn't, unless you were a Democrat. Remember, you've always been given a free pass if you were a Democrat politician. You could go out and you could visit certain places of the country for whatever reason, come back. I think it was John Lewis's funeral. You weren't allowed to come and go as you choose. But if it's a political event or something that has the approval of the D.C. elite, the liberal elite in the city of D.C., COVID protocols never mattered. And so you did not have to quarantine upon returning to Washington, D.C., if attending, just for example, the funeral of John Lewis, which is look. I don't like talking about that. It's sad. Someone, whether they agree or disagree with you, passing away. That's not the point. The point is that if there's something that the political class in D.C. finds appropriate, like if you've gone to a Black Lives Matter rally, that's fine. No, there's articles written about how those are not super spreader events. But I've heard already about the Cuban, American citizens, folks that have immigrated from Cuba down in southern Florida. If they are protesting the Cuban government, then that's been discussed as this may be a super spreader event. I mean, it's amazing how COVID knows. COVID knows. There's a country song called Mama Knows, and I thought a couple times about the similarities or what you could do with a little parody song. COVID knows. COVID knows. Sometimes I think it's got a window to my soul. COVID knows. That's the way that this that these politicians treat this. So I wonder if she would have considered quarantining these folks. Maybe the city should ban travel from radical leftist politicians. Maybe they should do that. Maybe they should say that radical leftist politicians are fitting the profile of people who are haphazardly trying to spread COVID. They're maskless on an airplane. I thought we were supposed to still be wearing masks on an airplane. Do these folks follow any of their own rules? Do they follow a single rule that they set for themselves? Well, they set them for everybody else, right? And this is, I think, one of the biggest problems that we have amongst, I would say, the political class in general, but it's especially true with radical leftist politicians. Rules are set for you. Rules are set for me. They, of course, are important enough or have particular reasons as to why they should be allowed to break those rules. For example, Nancy Pelosi, during COVID, can tell me that we shouldn't leave our home, that we should be in the duck and cover position, that we should not go outside, probably not even look out the window, but yet she can go and get her hair done before the orders have been lifted, right? This is how this works. When people who want to go and talk about the dangers of emissions as it pertains to climate change, they jet in many cases all around the world, quite literally on private jets. They have an excuse to do this. Al Gore is one example. He has multiple homes. His carbon footprint is enormous when factored into the way that they calculate your carbon footprint and my carbon footprint. But yet Al Gore it's not a big deal because, hey, this guy's out here fighting the cause. He's fighting for the cause. You got to how's this guy going to get around the world to share the message that's necessary for all of us, for all the world to hear about climate change if he's not using a private jet? I mean, Todd, you're just not being practical to expect this guy to jump on a makeshift raft. Kind of like how, I will say this, like Greta Thunberg, I mean, she at least is being committed to her cause, at least for the optics of it. I'm not saying that it's, again, a real thing. It may be. But she actually tries to travel in such a way that reflects the message that she is carrying to people, taking to people. Al Gore and most of these other leftists are jetting all over the place, and then if forced into a corner to actually have to answer the question, which they're normally not because it's, the radical leftists in the media are not going to hold them to be accountable for their hypocrisy. But in the case that they are actually asked the question, they have excuses for it. Well, how am I supposed to get here? How am I supposed to carry this message? How am I supposed to get from point A to point B? I've got a lot of people I got to talk to about this, and I've got to get there the best way possible, and the best way possible is for me to use my private jet. Okay, then why can the rest of us not? Is there no one else in the world who could say the same exact thing about his job or her business travels? Is that not allowed? Of course not. Unless they're a big donor or someone that's running for office one day. But the hypocrisy here is awfully, awfully rich. Maskless on an airplane. And my other question is, are they not vaccinated? Surely they're all vaccinated. I bet if we go and we got the names of these Texas legislators, if we went through and scrolled through their Twitter profile, they probably have somewhere in that feed a picture of them getting vaccinated, right? Holding up their vaccine ID or picture of the needle going into their arm, whatever it is that people do for these sorts of things. I'm sure we'll find those on their Twitter timeline or on a Facebook post or somewhere, right? I'm sure it exists. But now they have COVID. We heard that Kamala Harris was in close proximity meeting with these heroes, these hero Democrat legislators from the state of Texas who fled so that they were not forced to vote on a bill that would take away the rights of people voting in the state of Texas, which is complete hooey, by the way. This entire thing is a charade. This entire issue of these Democrats leaving the state as a result of their bad political theater. They created a micro super spreader event. We got microaggressions that we all have to be aware of in our day-to-day life. Are you being microaggressive out there today? Well, they're being micro super spreaders because they are trying to conduct bad political theater as Democrats. And you can bet the bank, if this was a bunch of Republicans, which it wouldn't be because Republicans don't do this. We had something here in the state of Indiana where the Democrats a few years ago fled. I say a few years, it might be more than a few. But I remember they fled to the state of Illinois to avoid voting on a particular bill or something that was coming up on the agenda or some such. I don't even remember. If I sat down, I could probably remember, but it just hit me as I'm saying this. This is one of the strategies of the radical left. This, I guess, is what we would say is defending democracy, making sure that duly elected representatives don't actually have to do their job as according to the law and according to the state's constitutions. These Democrats can flee the state, refusing to follow clearly defined rules, and they have, there's a certain set procedure. They're violating the law. They are fugitives, technically fugitives, on the run, on the wrong side of the law. Now they're spreading COVID-19. But it doesn't matter. If the shoe were on the other foot, though, this would be front page news. Republicans are spreading COVID-19, acting irresponsibly. They should know better. It's probably because somebody there isn't vaccinated. It might be because someone's race. It might be a racist act. They're trying to take COVID-19 to a particular part of the country where there's another sort of a higher percentage of minorities. This is the way that news is reported. So-called news is reported from the mouths and the the keyboards of the radical left. What am I thinking? It's 1980s or over, Todd. But this is how it's done. This is how these folks report. No big deal if the Democrats do it. But again, super spreader event created micro super spreader event because they desire so much to conduct bad political theater. And it doesn't matter the consequences because they're Democrats. even exposing the Vice President of the United States. So, timeout is in order. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Stay on top of the nonsense our colleges are subjecting students to today by listening to Todd's monthly interview series with Matt Lamb, assistant editor of The College Fix. Listen at toddhuffshow.com/college. Brought to you by Apprentice University. We understand how overwhelming it is for students to make life-altering decisions. We help you guide along the curvy pathway toward reaching your goals. You'll gain professional skills and learn to problem solve for your future career. Visit apprentice.university to learn more about this debt-free college, purposefully designed for your outstanding future.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? There is a cure. With the Pro-Life Health Plan, your savings could be as much as 60%. The Pro-Life Health Plan allows you to enjoy the freedom of choosing any doctor, any hospital, anywhere. And their enrollment is open year-round. Just give Eric a call at 888-448-5370 or visit them online at isellhealth.com. Better coverage at a better cost.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
You're busy. At Citizens Bank, we know your time is precious. That's why we're bringing a full-service branch to Stones Crossing for all your home, commercial, and personal banking needs. Looking to open an account, get assistance from your mortgage and commercial lenders, or just make all banking transactions right from your car? We can make it easy for you. Visit our new branch at 1767 West Stones Crossing Road. Citizens Bank. More bank for your buck.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Has it been a while since your last eye checkup? Has your eyesight changed? At Best Insight Eye Care, they keep an eye on your vision. Their doctors use the most advanced technology and eye care products available. At Best Insight, you will find professionals who genuinely care about you and are dedicated to providing exceptional service. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase. Schedule your appointment at the Southeast Side, Indianapolis, or New Palestine locations by visiting bestinsighteyecare.com or calling 317-782-4000 to get the best insight. Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep. Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They begin with an in-home sleep test that is diagnosed by a sleep physician before prescribing your appliance. And it's covered by most medical insurance plans. It's preferred 20-1 versus CPAP. Call 317-888-4036 and start getting the sleep you need. Or visit IndyDentalSleep.com. Welcome back, my friends. By the way, this program brought to you in part by our friends at Workforce Chaplains. Workforce Chaplains, I tell you, one of the things I love about what we do here is I get to meet some really interesting people who are doing some really cool things. And one of those is Marcus Schrader, who runs Workforce Chaplains here locally, but they've got, they provide services not just here as well, but they provide to businesses the opportunity for chaplaincy services to their employees. And there's a whole host of services and benefits. You can check them out, Workforce Chaplains with an S, workforcechaplains.com. And we're proud to have them as part of this program. Again, I just love some of these ideas and what people are doing, and I get to meet some really interesting folks. In fact, today I'm going to be, you may have heard on this program, a podcast that's being called the Homeboys Podcast. I'm going to travel up to sit down with Clint and Scott a little bit later today. And I'm going to be on the podcast, which I love. And this is maybe, it's so different from having to come prepared, knowing what I want to talk about and have things, lined up and different stories. And again, it's not scripted. The show's not scripted, but it's different than just having a conversation when, answering questions just to see where the conversation kind of goes organically, as they would say. So I always enjoy doing this. So we'll share that. And I'll be sure to share that podcast with you if you want to check it out. These guys are great guys, and I really enjoy the people that we meet. I truly do. We're blessed in that sense. I want to share this with you as well. You may have seen, this is in the postmillennial.com, headline here, families of 9/11 victims slam Democrats for saying January 6th riot was worse. People saying the January 6th riot was worse than 9/11. And now some may not have said it's worse. Others have compared the two, the January 6th riot, or as they would say, the coup attempt or whatever, what happened on January 6th, which I've shared my thoughts. In fact, some of you don't necessarily agree. Some people think that if the election was stolen, that those actions were justifiable. So, but I've shared my thoughts on that. Actually, I got thoughts on that response, but I don't want to get into that. I want to stick on this comparison. So I know there's a lot of people. In fact, when we get to 9/11, which, by the way, 9/11 this year will mark 20 years since that tragic day. And if you were an adult or even a younger child, not so young you don't remember anything, like you were a toddler or something, but if you were in school, you probably remember where you were. Definitely if you were in high school or an adult, you remember where you were when you heard the news. I remember distinctively that I was passing, actually, ironically, the Indianapolis International Airport on I-70 back before they did the construction where the roads were shifted a little bit. You could see the airport pretty clearly. And as I was driving by, I remember hearing that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center. And at first, I think the radio was even saying that they thought it was a small aircraft. And that's kind of where that started. But you remember that. And we remember that because it was so much to comprehend and to watch the news reports in real time, to watch those towers collapse, to watch the days and the weeks and the months and the years after 9/11, watching that city try to rebuild, trying to find survivors, trying to remove the rubble, right, to eventually build the Freedom Tower, to to build the monuments there, which is just, I think, it's a beautiful monument there at Ground Zero, that sacred ground where thousands of people lost their lives because of radical Islamic terrorists who wanted to kill anyone that did not embrace the same worldview, the same religion as them, and they thought that they were justified in doing so. So crashing aircraft into the World Trade Centers for some leftists today is being compared to the tragedies and the chaos and what happened on 9/11. And of course, it wasn't just the World Trade Towers, which were terrible enough. I'm not minimizing, but it also was the Pentagon. It also was headed towards the U.S. Capitol building. Flight 93 was headed that direction. So we had Washington, D.C. under attack as well almost 20 years ago as we're moving towards the 20-year mark of 9/11. Some leftists are comparing. It's insane. It is truly insane. You know, I would not be. It goes to show how much politics blinds logic. Folks want to make political points, score political points. This is something that they, again, the left and the Democrat Party and the media know that if the Democrats have to run on what they've, in 2022, on what they've accomplished, they're going to be in for a complete rude awakening here in the midterms. They have nothing that they've accomplished. It's an unmitigated disaster on the southern border. We've touched on that. The labor shortage. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, what good has happened since the radical left has walked into power here? There's nothing demonstrably better. Everything that they were handed has gotten worse. Tensions around the world are increasing, right? I thought the world was supposed to love us now because Trump wasn't president. Turns out it's not that simple, is it, radical leftists? And so they got to come up with something, and they've got to remind us that, well, they want to hammer home the point that the Republicans and conservatives are here to try to overthrow the government, which is complete bonk, complete and utter nonsense. But nonetheless, this gives them a platform to do that. So they have to make it sound as dramatic as possible. I want to read after the break from this post-millennial report some people who had direct connections to 9/11, and we all do in one way, but folks that lost family members, that sort of thing, what they're having to say about the comparison of January 6th to 9/11. It's really a shame. That's really completely inexcusable and for pure political consumption. Got to take a break. Sit tight. Listen to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats, Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Looking for an affordable local Christian college? Look no further. The folks at Bethel University and Grace Church are partnering up to bring you the perfect option for your education. You can experience a Christ-centered education and get your degree without debt through reduced tuition. It's pretty remarkable what they're doing. Find them by visiting bethelatgrace.com. That's bethelatgrace.com.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Were you surprised by your tax return last year? Did you get a large refund, or worse, did you have to pay more than you thought to the IRS? Or maybe you just got a new job, had a baby, or are going into retirement. Why wait for another tax surprise this year? Let Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group help you project your taxes for the year to save you the stress come tax time. 317-288-5260. Jody and his team will analyze your paychecks to see if you're withholding too much or too little and help make corrections to any W-4s. If you're the sole proprietor of a business, this is a great idea for you to prepare for your tax filing. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and their new location in Greenfield. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. And don't wait. The sooner you act, the more prepared you can be for any hidden tax surprises. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com.
Welcome back. So talking about some of these responses from people who lost family members in the events of 9/11. Jim Riches, retired New York deputy fire chief, who lost his son, who was a firefighter on 9/11, says this to the folks who are comparing 9/11 with January 6th. Are they kidding me? 3,000 people died, plus we have more people dying from the air that was down there. They're comparing it to score points politically. The families are really angry. When I talk to them, when they compare it to that, they find that outrageous. Deborah Burlingame, her brother was a pilot flying the hijacked American Airlines Flight 77, the one that crashed into the Pentagon on 9/11. She says this: there are a lot of young people who have no living memory of 9/11. When you have all these comparisons and analogies, which are inflated and ridiculous, it minimizes what actually happened. And that's what's happening here. It's a deliberate ploy. That's what she wrote in an op-ed at the Wall Street Journal at the end of May. Joe Connor, his cousin Stephen Schlag, died in the World Trade Center. Mr. Connor says this: they just dehumanize our families for political gain. I guess they call it gaslighting. They can say these things that will make people believe that these riots were worse than the worst thing that ever that happened on American soil. Either they're ignorant or they're just really devious and clever, and you can put nothing past them, because if you're willing to lie to that degree, it's a disturbing trend to me. It is disturbing, but it's what they do. It's what they do. The Dramocrats, it's how they behave. Quick timeout. Back here in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Gray Brothers Cafeteria, R&R Products, and Reformation by supporting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
Remember how hot it was last summer? I was sweating our AC bills, so we replaced our system. We took advantage of Commercial Services' 72-month special financing. We have no interest after we pay in full within 72 months. No more embarrassing sweaty t-shirts. So if you want commercial-grade service for your home, give Commercial Service a call today.
Subject to credit approval. Call Commercial Service for details at 812-339-9114 or online at commercialservice.com.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Are you looking to purchase waterproof flooring for your home? Did you know it's as easy as typing rnrproducts.com/Todd in your search engine for a great deal on our core tech line? Since 1971, R&R Products has provided brand name products at an affordable price to the listening area. Call 317-745-5794 or go online to rnrproducts.com/Todd. R&R Products. We make your flooring experience easy and affordable.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today, providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price. Our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create, on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Corin Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corin Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Welcome back. Not much time here, but I do want to say the individual who actually is convinced that January 6th was 1,000% worse than 9/11. Not just slightly, not just comparable, but 1,000% worse than 9/11 is some joker that's the White House correspondent at the Huffington Post. I think you pronounce his name S.V. Date. I don't know. D-A-T-E with a little accent over the A. He just is perplexed as to why the rest of us can't see that January 6th was 1,000% worse than 9/11. This is not serious. This is not serious commentary. This guy should just hand in his credentials. And what's he commentating for anyways? Isn't he supposed to be a journalist? So much to talk about here. I got to go. Thanks for listening. SCGC tomorrow. Take care.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
Quality glass windows and doors add value to your home or commercial space. At White's Innovative Glass, our family-owned and operated company will work with you to ensure we understand your vision before we begin. And if you don't have a vision, we can help with that too. We proudly stand behind our work and look forward to your call. Right now, we're offering 15% off your next project. Visit our website at whitesinnovativeglass.com/Todd.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.